and welcome back to Off the Cuff, the podcast where two best friends talk everything about our favorite sports and esports topics from the past week. My name is Hylander. This is JT. How you doing today, JT?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. How you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. You know, sad that weather kept us from last week.
Yeah.
But, you know, luckily we are here this week. Weather's seeming good here in Florida. I mean, well, it got a little dark, but that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
See, at least this week there's no wind and thunder, and yeah.
Yes, I agree. Last week was a shame. I was sitting here, and I mean, those of you who actually tuned in, I'm not sure if actually anyone came in, but went live. I was like, I'll just wait for him. Hopefully he shows up, but no. Apparently the weather kept him away, and then the next day the weather persisted again, and. Of course, the one day this week that it's supposed to rain is today as well. So we'll see what happens to Highlander throughout the show.
Let's hope that stays till like later. And
right.
Know.
Yes, but yeah, is it time for Highlander's quick quiz already?
I don't know. Is it? I mean, you're the runner of the quick quiz, aren't you?
I am. You're not wrong, but yeah, the intro just kind of went into small talk, and then the small talk just kind of stopped.
Yeah, well, you know, that kind of does happen sometimes.
That happens. That's called a segue, which we are amazing at here at Off the Cuff. But
can I just say,
sure.
I'm loving the shirt, JT. I'm loving
Thank
it.
you.
You're giving me like summertime vibes. Like I feel like I want to go out on a beach.
Hey, what can I say?
You know, get some sun.
Yes, and everyone should go out on the beach sometime this summer and get some sun. Yeah, this was a shirt that I wore for the cruise, actually. A little Hawaiian night, I believe it was called. No, tropical night. Tropical night, because we didn't go to Hawaii.
Tropical, okay.
Yeah, so it was just tropical night. So, but this shirt is like literally one of the most comfiest shirts that I have, and so I just keep wearing it, and
don't blame you.
It brings a smile to people's face. What can I say? It brings a smile to my face too. So
it makes me want to go out and get a Hawaiian shirt now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hawaiian shirt, tropical. You get my
tropical
point.
shirt. Yeah. They have there's like a little name on them. But anyway, tropical shirt, Hawaiian shirt aside, let's segue into Highlander's quick quiz. Where last week, Highlander. Wait, did you get the question last week, or did you miss the question?
I missed it.
You missed it.
I could have just lied right there and said, no, I got it.
No, I totally got it. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, no, he's 4 for 5. That's right. And so he's sitting here at a negative 1,500 points, I believe. But, I mean, it's not all about aggregate score. I mean, he's got a lot of questions. He's got 16 questions still to go. So there's plenty of time. 16?
Oh my.
Yes. Well, there's 25 total questions. You've done 9. So quick math. That's 16. So
that is pretty quick math right there.
Without further ado, let's swap on over here and see what the wheel has for Highlander today. I double and triple checked this wheel this time. There is no duplicates that we've already done. What do we got? MLB for 400.
Oh, no.
And, that's a little rough. That's a little rough. See? It's
there. I predicted this last time. I want to say last week, or not last week, the week before, I predicted this, that we're going to be left with like nothing but NFL questions at the very end.
True.
And it's going to be like the most amazing comeback story ever.
I mean,
because there's going to be NFL questions.
I also want to point out we still have all the 300 questions as well on the board. They're still alive and thriving.
The 300 ones have not gotten any love.
They haven't. No. Maybe that can change, but not this week. Let's get into the 400 question for the MLB. Let's go. Since their inaugural season in 1961, this team has never won a World Series.
Oh, no.
I don't even remember this one either. So I did the questions. I don't even remember this one.
This team has never won a World Series.
Never won.
I got to like really dig deep here and think about like teams that have won and teams that haven't.
True. I have a guess, but I'm not sure.
I'm trying to take out all the teams that have won.
This isn't much of a guess for me as it is for you as well, because even though I did this, I made this quiz, I'm blanking on the answer to this one.
Like, it's wild to me because of the fact of, like I said, I'm trying to go through like teams that have won a World Series.
Right.
And it's leaving me flabbergasted of like the teams that this could be. Because I feel like this could be one of like 4 teams in my mind. But for some reason, some weird, very weird, very, very weird reason, I'm going to go with the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they've won a World Series.
I couldn't tell you either. But that's a pretty good guess.
But I don't ever remember hearing anyone ever being like, the Rockies won the World Series this time.
Right. I have a guess. I want to say it's like for some reason the Twins come to my mind. I don't know why.
You know, they were one of the teams that were
But that's the team that comes to my mind.
But then I swore I heard something about them winning a World Series at one point.
They might have. The Rockies might have won too. I don't know. But
like I said, again, in my knowledge, I'm like, it's obviously not the Yankees, the Red Sox,
Right.
the Mets, stuff like that. It's not them.
Well, let's see if Highlander is correct. Was it the Colorado Rockies? It unfortunately was the Texas Rangers.
You'll never believe that was my 3rd team that I had on the list.
Really? 3rd team? What was your 2nd team? Was it the Twins?
Literally, I had like Rockies, Twins, Rangers, and then I had one of the California teams. I think it was the Angels, and I was like, I think the Angels have won one though.
I don't even know.
I don't know. That's why I said I'm like, I've never really like I tried to think of teams that I swore for some reason in my head I was like, nah, it can't be the Rangers. I swore they've won one. Apparently not.
Yeah. No. Well, unfortunate miss again for Highlander there. I mean, Highlander has gotten nothing but hard questions, honestly, and I feel for him. I feel for the kid.
1961. That's actually, you know what? That's probably why. Because I guarantee the Rockies came in later.
Probably.
I'm gonna do a quick little Google of when the Colorado Rockies entered the league.
Yeah. So Highlander is 4-6 now in his record, and he has aggregate score of negative 1,900, 500 points for, 2,400 missed out on. What'd you find out?
So the Colorado Rockies joined the league in 1991.
Oh, very recently. Wow. Very recently.
The Rockies won a World Series.
I feel like not.
The Colorado Rockies have no series wins in the World Series all time. So I was kind of right.
Oh, in the World Series or just postseason?
In the World Series.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, let me see if the Twins have won it. Because I'm curious about yours.
I want to say that they did. I don't know. I feel like the Twins are a pretty old team, and I feel like they probably won one of the early ones.
World Series champions. They won in 1987 and 1991.
Oh. So when the Rockies came into the league, the Twins were winning.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When did the Twins come in?
When did the Twins come in? I feel like they're an older team. Maybe not.
1961.
Oh, okay. So same year.
They came in the same year as the Rangers. The Rangers
just haven't won anything, which is funny because like the Rangers,
you kind of were on the right track.
Didn't I feel like the Rangers had Albert Pujols for a long time, didn't they? Am I pulling that out of my?
I only know
it sounds
on
right.
The Cardinals.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. They had a power hitter for a long time.
I'm about to look up Albert Pujols' career now because now you got me like.
I don't know.
You got me really like confused here, and I need to find out now.
Yeah.
Drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in the 13th round in 1999.
Cardinals.
Yeah,
so maybe he didn't go anywhere.
What team? St. Louis, LA.
Okay, he's with the Angels as well. Yeah.
And then back to St. Louis. Yeah, no, he never played for them at all.
All right. Never mind then.
That's why I was like, I don't think he's ever played for the Rangers, but yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure,
Yes.
Little fact check.
Yes. Well, tough luck on that one, Highlander. We'll see if we can't get you any easy ones down the road.
I struck out on that one.
You did. And yeah, I feel sorry for you. But yeah, I mean with Highlanders quick quiz out of the way, we were having a discussion, and there's not much going on in the in the world of, NFL and NHL, really, right, Highlander? There's really not much going on there.
Not like anything super crazy yet.
No. But so to kick off the show, instead of doing NFL news this time around, I want to bring us into NBA news instead. And so for the first time, changing up the the arrangement of Off the Cuff, which we should do more often because as the seasons change, so do the baseball. Not baseball. So do the sports seasons change. We have been fixated. We were just talking about baseball, so I guess there's that.
Look, pretty soon we're just going to be a baseball only stream.
We're going to be a baseball only podcast, and we're just going to be making stuff up. Yeah, so NBA news. I'm honestly surprised at how fast free agency and like trades and stuff like that has already been a factor this season. This offseason so far. I'm looking at the list of all the free agents this year, and not only are there a lot of them, but a lot of really good ones too. Looking at the top points per game free agents at the moment, you've got Kyrie Irving, you got Kristaps Porzingis, which he's not he's to Boston now, so he's not really an unrestricted free agent anymore. He got traded to Boston. Kyle Kuzma, also on that Wizards team with Porzingis. They're both free agents. Well, not Porzingis anymore. You know what I mean. James Harden is a free agent. Sixers take away him from the team. Maybe they sign him back. Maybe they don't. I feel like he probably wants to leave because I think he got a lot of the flack for, not really carrying them in the playoffs. Jordan Clarkson, surprisingly, not a guy you hear a whole lot about, but for the Utah Jazz, he had 20 points for them this past season per game. Pretty good. Jeremy Grant for the Trailblazers. Kelly Oubre Jr. for the Hornets. And let me go down to some other notable names. Fred VanVleet. He's a free agent. Who knows if he'll continue on in Toronto or not. D'Angelo Russell for the Lakers. A really big one that has serious implication is Draymond Green. He is a free agent for the first time in his career. Really, he's been on Golden State for a long time now, and he's not happy that Golden State recently acquired Chris Paul, because Chris Paul and Green don't really have the best of relationships. Apparently, he said that himself, and so he's not a fan as to how I guess Chris Paul kept Steph at an arm's length, I don't know, when Steph was really coming up and being the man that we know Steph is, Chris Paul kind of distanced himself from him, I guess. I never knew that they had a very good relationship anyway, but I don't know, I guess, Draymond's mad about that, and apparently he wants to go to the Lakers. So that's an interesting one. Speaking of the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, that's why I thought about him, but free agent. Let's see any other big names here. Chris Paul, obviously the trade that happened with Chris Paul. At first he was traded to the Wizards, I believe, and then he was traded again from the Wizards to Golden State. So not really sure what their plan is because obviously they have Steph. I guess they want just a better backup guy, I guess, because when Steph wasn't on the court, it was pretty obvious that he wasn't on the court. And Chris Paul is not going to give you the scoring that Steph gives you, but he'll at least give you the floor general, that kind of guy to rally the troops, be a veteran, be a ball carrier, ball handler, find guys, find Clay, find, anybody like that. So interesting stuff. Mac McClung, dunk hero champion from the Sixers. He's also he's a restricted free agent, so he's probably not going to go anywhere. But a lot of big names in the free agency market this offseason. Let me go by rebound, see what kind of centers we have. Vucevic, he's on the free agency market. Just said Porzingis. We've already talked about him. Mason Plumlee, which, I mean, he hasn't done much the past couple of years. Already been in the league for 10 years. It's kind of insane. Draymond, like I just said, yeah, he's a unrestricted free agent for the first time in his career. Interested to see where he goes, which is funny because I know you're a Golden State fan, Hylander, or at least you were for a while. What's your take on Draymond Green? What kind of player is he to you?
He gets in trouble a lot.
He does.
I feel like when he does good, it's fantastic. But I feel like for the most part, I wouldn't be mad if Draymond Green moved on.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Like, I don't feel like he's a complete core player for them.
Right.
Like, I think with Steph and Clay, you have those two of top athletes.
Yeah.
I think you could honestly put anyone to replace Draymond. It wouldn't even feel like he's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's kind of how I felt about Draymond for a long time. I mean, he's not a bad player. I mean, no one's going to say that he's a bad player.
Any standard.
Bucky really loves the camera today. Let's keep you in the lap for now. So Draymond is a player who has really gotten his fame from kind of riding on the coattails of Steph and Clay, and being with those guys definitely has helped his career. I mean, he's got 4 championships. I mean, it's hard to argue with those numbers, but I don't know. I mean, like you said, I mean, if he had gone to any other team, would he be that successful? No. The answer is no. And
I mean, it depends on what team.
It does depend on what team.
If you end up with LeBron, possibly.
But I mean, at the same time, I mean, like you said, Draymond, he gets into trouble a lot. He's got a mouth on him.
Yeah.
He lacks a lot of respect for fellow players, I think. And I mean, he just comes off as like a cocky sort of personality, which I'm not a fan of.
I think he's got that because of who he plays around and how good the team has become.
Right. And I mean, once again, not a bad player. A very solid center, I mean, a little undersized for a center. I mean, he's not really a center. He's a forward. But, I mean, he was... he's in there that center position quite a lot for them because they kind of reinvented the small ball era. But yeah, so I mean, do I like Draymond Green? Not that much. He's got a lot of opinions, especially as of late. Since he's got his own podcast, he does a lot more speaking nowadays, and I don't know. I've never really been that big of a fan of him, just in general. But
honestly, I kind of hope he goes to a team that's a struggling team.
Yeah.
Just so that he can kind of get put back to earth.
Yeah. I think that's definitely needed for him. Because, I mean, he's in the back half of his career. And, there's not much that he can really do for a team other than, like, leadership. But even then, I mean, like, just this past offseason, he punched Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big headline, and that's not what you want from your star guy. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I feel like his years in the limelight are over, and yeah. So we'll see where Draymond Green goes. We'll keep an eye on him during the next season, which is forever away. But
not really when you really think about it.
No, not really. But
like, it's crazy to think that like NFL starts back up in like 2 months.
True.
Hockey starts back in like 3 months.
Yeah. And so let me see if there's any other James Harden. We already talked about him. Russell Westbrook, we already talked about him. Bucky was
trying to tell us where he wants to go.
Yeah, he was.
I think you know what? I think he pointed to Australia.
Did he? No, Australia's not over there. If anything, it's like Hawaii. But
that's a good point. Never mind. Yeah, no, I'm backwards.
You're backwards.
I don't know what I was just looking at. Yeah.
Let's see. Dennis Schroeder's a free agent. I mean, he hasn't really done much. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really like the big ticket names. Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on NBA wise, yeah, I mean, other than free agency and, I mean, I guess we could let's take a look at some player movement. The Hawks just got rid of somebody. There was somebody recently, like today. Wait, they got rid of John Collins, one of their big men. Yeah, is there really much anything here? I mean,
actually,
really.
I have a question for you. Any news on the Ja Morant situation?
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot we hadn't talked about that yet. Yeah, I mean, it literally his sentencing, I guess, was released like the day after this podcast got released last, and so Ja Morant's out for 25 games, and which is just nothing, honestly. I mean,
I feel like that's not
very lenient. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a little over a quarter of the season, which, in my opinion, doesn't hurt them. It honestly strengthens them. You're giving him a quarter of the season to rest. A quarter. I mean, sure, he's not getting paid, but like he's a multi-millionaire. Like, what is it really going to hurt him that much? So yeah, I mean, like you're giving him a quarter of the season to rest, come in full steam. He only has 3/4 of the season to play, and he's just going to strengthen them for the postseason run. I mean, like, is it really?
100%.
I mean, sure, he loses out on a lot of money. Nike is still partnering with him. They're not cutting ties with him. So, I mean, like, the whole situation is just kind of like a slap on the wrist again. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw the thing that he did, but apparently he said that the gun that was in the second video wasn't actually a gun.
Fake.
It was a lighter.
It was a lighter, which, why do you have a gun lighter with you in a car? Like,
I don't.
Why?
The funny thing is, I don't think it was a lighter.
I don't believe it. No, I don't believe it at all. I mean, why would it be? And, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Let me get Bucky out of here one more time.
Someone just wants the spotlight.
He's a good boy. He just he loves the limelight. He knows exactly what I'm doing this podcast, and he's just like, oh, the camera's on. Let me put my face on it. Yeah. So I mean, Ja just, I don't know. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am somehow. I mean, I thought for sure it was going to be at least like 35 games.
I was hoping for half the season.
Me too. I would have loved half the season.
At the least was half the season.
Yeah, I would have loved that, but instead, no.
I just have a feeling he's going to do it again.
He might.
Because all you're doing is, again, you're slapping him on the wrist where this man gets to now rest for the first 25 games.
Yep.
Just practicing. He's going to come out strong as can be while everyone else is kind of already starting to get those injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Or the opposite could happen to him because he doesn't play for the first 25 games. He could come out and just tear something.
Yes.
So in a way, it's like there's two ways this could go. I'm telling you, Bucky just loves the spotlight today.
He loves it. He loves it. And I mean, unfortunately, telling him no doesn't do anything. So
he's a cat.
He's a cat. He's a cat.
They got a mind of their own. They're not like dogs. They're like, you tell them no, the dog's like, all right, I'm sorry.
Right.
Cats are like, you say no, I'm gonna keep challenging you. I'm the master here.
Yeah. So there was actually one trade that was done that everyone was all in a tizzy about. It was actually during the COD Championships. I'm trying to remember. Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies? I think that's what it was. Marcus Smart from the Celtics to the Grizzlies. I still don't even think that was right. I mean, that's a pretty good. I mean, Marcus Smart adds some defense to the Grizzlies, just giving Ja more weapons. Yeah, who was it? I'm trying to think here. It was like, Bradley Beal to the Suns. Bradley Beal to the Suns. Yes, and that was the initial Chris Paul trade, actually. Chris Paul to the Wizards. Landry Fields to the Wizards for Bradley Beal, Jordan Goodwin, Isaiah Todd to the Suns. But then again, Chris Paul traded from the Wizards to Golden State. So honestly, I mean, the Wizards just kind of got the bum deal. I mean, not really. The Wizards did get Jordan Poole with that trade, so that's not a terrible option.
Chris Paul on the Warriors be
interesting.
Yeah, Chris Paul might finally get a ring.
Maybe. I don't know, because I mean, like I just said, I mean, it doesn't quite work. I mean, he's the backup point guard. I mean, like, there's no replacing Steph.
That's what I mean. He'd get the ring as a backup.
He's not going to be a shooting guard. They're not going to move Steph to shooting guard. They might in certain situations, like they might have Paul as the point guard, Steph as a shooting guard. I
think if it's a game where like they're losing and they need to like have some kind of like comeback,
or if Clay gets injured again. But I mean, even Steph is injury prone. So I mean, like having a good backup point guard isn't a bad idea.
And a veteran at that too.
Exactly. Yeah. So
especially because if playoffs come around and say Steph like goes down, you're having a good guy come in that has the playoff experience, that can be calm in that situation, who can also hit threes.
Right. But I mean, Chris Paul also isn't, he's not immune to injuries himself. He's had quite a few in his career as well. But anyway, yeah, so Bradley Beal to the Suns, which I don't really care about, honestly. I really don't. I mean, you couldn't get it done. You had Booker, CP3, Kevin Durant. Is Bradley Beal really going to give you anything extra? I mean, he's just another score guy. He's just another guy who can score, and you have 3 guys on the squad now who can score. Who's gonna have the ball? Who's the floor general? You had a floor general in Chris Paul. Now you don't. I mean, I guess Booker can have the ball at first, but I mean, like once again, you run into the problem of having too many guys who want their hands on the ball, and somehow it worked in Golden State with all those guys when Kevin Durant was there, but I mean, like, is it going to work in Phoenix? I don't see it working. I mean, especially because Kevin Durant isn't even the same player he was in Golden State. He's still a phenomenal player, but this season especially, he's kind of showing his age a little bit. Without further ado, let's hop into the NRL segment. No Regal joining us today, since we're moving it back. Well, we're pushing it back. Pushing it back? Pushing it forward? We're pushing it forward. Yeah, so second segment of the day. It's super early for Regal right now, so, wish him well. But yeah, Highlander, take it away with NRL for... Origin Game 2, what round is this? Round 16? Round 17?
I don't know why. I thought you were going to say NRL for like 400, and I was like, that's the wrong thing, but you know what? We're going for it.
I think you already answered that question.
I might have.
I think you got it
but
wrong.
We're going into round 18, actually.
Round 18. Wait, that's one that just got played, or we're going into round 18?
We're going into round 18 this week.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're a few weeks back with round 14 and 15.
Yes.
But we're going to start out with some interesting news of Reece Walsh is out of Origin Game 3 after a 3-match ban for, let's just say, saying some very interesting things towards the ref, even though his defense was not towards the ref, it was towards a teammate.
Yep.
But
is no one buying it?
Yeah. It was a very interesting thing, but yeah, he'll be out 3 games now with that. Rigo and I were interested on if Origin counted at first, or if it was like 3 club games, but Origin does count, so he only misses 2 games for the Broncos.
Yeah.
I almost said bunnies for some reason.
You wish you was the bunnies.
But yeah, that's an interesting blow though for the Broncos, losing him for at least 2 games.
Yeah,
their star fullback of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's not. Oh, no. What have I done?
Oh, no.
It's fine. Don't worry. I've been here before.
Perfect. Excellent.
If we go to this wonderful past week of NRL, there's a lot of blowouts.
No surprise with that first game.
This game, honestly, this game I thought was going to be a lot closer.
Oh, really?
And, wow.
Aren't the
That
Dragons
game just got carried away really quickly.
Aren't they bottom of the table, the Dragons? Or are they not bottom of the table? Pretty sure
I
they're
don't
close.
think the Dragons are bottom. They're close, I know,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're bottom.
Hmm.
But yeah, 48-18, that was just destruction. Then we had Dolphins Eels, where again, the Dolphins team that wasn't fully healthy
Yeah.
met the Eels and just got absolutely pounded. Even though there was a couple times where the hammer made the Eels, like, showed that the Eels do have some weak spots.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hammer would just take the ball and run down the field the whole way. And Mitchell Moses was not happy about that.
No.
He definitely, in the post-game interview, said we played sloppy at times. But yeah, the Eels are starting to make a move back up, which is nice to see.
The Dragons are last.
This was a game that the Knights should have won.
Mm.
So Penrith rested all their players that played in Origin.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they had no starters, no really big star players, besides like the fullback Edwards, and they still somehow beat the Knights.
Wow.
And what a lot of people said, even thought that the Knights might have a chance here because the Knights were a full team, and I mean the Knights just did too many errors, and Penrith took advantage of it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Penrith is, back-to-back champs.
Right.
Manly. This is Manly without Turbo because during Origin Game 2, Tom Trbojevic got injured in the first half, very early in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ruptured a pec or did he tear his pec? So he does something with his pec where he's going to be out for the rest of the season now.
Oh wow. That's
the Manly Sea Eagles star fullback. So as you can see, without their star fullback, they met the Storm.
Yeah, they did.
And it did not look too good for them.
They met the Storm like your Power met the Storm last week.
Yeah, you did not wrong. And the Storm are starting to build up a little momentum here.
Yeah.
And this is still a Storm team that's not fully this isn't the full healthy Storm team either. They're still without Poppy, which I mean, once they add him, this Storm team could make a nice little run late in the run for the championship.
Oh.
This game was a shocking one.
Yeah,
this right here, this was the game that Reece Walsh got in trouble during. The Titans though pulled a very interesting upset here.
So is there what did Reece Walsh say? Like, can you repeat it on this show, or can you censor it in a way?
Well, one of them is see you next Tuesday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the other one was, if I remember correctly, it started with an F. And we don't fully know what that one ended with. To sense it out. So we were kind of figure out what the F one could be.
Right.
There's many different things that it could be.
Probably worse than the typical F.
It's not the
not the typical F.
Not the typical F.
No.
There's a good chance this one is the one that starts with an F and ends with a T.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Which it was
if
that was what was said.
Yeah, that's all we gotta say. That's stream friendly. That's off the cuff friendly.
Yeah, it was but yeah, apparently Reece Walsh said it was not meant towards the ref. It was meant towards his teammate. But
I mean, if you're talking to your teammate that way, you should get suspended anyway too.
Well, apparently his teammate said something about use your brain and then called him something, and then he turned his head back and said something back at him.
Those words.
Yeah. Then what happened to the Storm happened to an unhealthy Bunnies team.
Yeah.
This game was just not fun to watch. Blake Taft proved why he should stay in the minor league. and not be a starting fullback.
Oh.
In fact, he had one of the most embarrassing plays of his career in this game, where he literally caught a ball in his hand, and it bounced out of his hand right into a Cowboys player, and the player just dove in for a try.
Wow.
It was it was something.
You love to see that.
Moving on from that one. This game was something that, again, this Roosters team should be winning these games.
Yeah.
Again, they're losing them.
They keep flubbing these really close games.
I mean, this Roosters team just is not living up to the hype that everyone had for this season. And honestly, it's insane to me. Looking at the star power of this team.
Yeah.
They should be winning these games. And not just winning them, but destroying them.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy to me is that, like, I'm taking a look at the ladder right now, which, I mean, you don't have to look at the ladder right now if you don't want to, but I mean, just the amount of flip-flopping that we've had from top of the ladder to the bottom of the ladder, like, during this entire something's wrong on your you might need to zoom out maybe. Round.
Why is it round?
I don't know.
Hello?
I don't know. But I mean, yeah, for me, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, like, Penrith has been up there for the entire season, so has the Broncos, but, like, at one point in time, we had, like, Manly up near the top, not a 13th. We had the Bulldogs up in, like, 4th, didn't we? At some point in time, the Bulldogs were, like, top.
I don't think the Bulldogs were ever in the top 8.
They were... No, never.
They
were for sure in the top. They were for sure at least 8th, at least once. But, like, they dropped to 15th. The Eels were, like, second to last at one point in time. Now they're 7th.
This is round 1's top 8. Wow. Was Manly, Titans, Dolphins, Bunnies, Warriors, Storm, Broncos, Cowboys. And then, yeah, like...
The Titans were 8th at least in round 2.
Well...
Oh, man.
Round 3 just doesn't want to show, apparently.
No. But, like... Is it safe to say that this season of rugby has been, like, the most, like, balanced that you've watched? Yeah, because, I mean, like, anyone can be anybody, it seems, unless you're, like, the Dragons, I guess. But even then, I mean, they have 4 wins. Unless you're, like, the West Tigers, which somehow have 1 less win than the Dragons, but they're still above them.
Bye week,
true. Yeah, but I mean, like, did I think that the Eels were going to catapult up to 7th a couple weeks ago? No. Did I think early on that the Raiders were going to be over here in 6th? No. I mean, like, it's just insane how these teams are so evenly matched, I guess. But I mean, like, also the structure of the NRL is weirder than any other sport that I've ever watched. You know, there's a whole bunch of different games going on, like the Origins going on in between. True, the West Tigers did beat the Panthers. You're not wrong. But, I mean, that was kind of a fluke game, wasn't it? But I don't know. I mean, this is like this is what you want to see if you're, you know, a sports fan. I mean, like, a very competitive league on all fronts. I mean, 8 points separating last from 8th. That's not bad. I mean, we still have quite a bit of the season to go as well. I mean, at least like 10 more weeks.
Just an example of last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was 25 rounds. This was what the standings look like at the end of the season.
Yeah, 20-4 for Penrith, which is insane. They've already lost more than that in just 17, which, I mean, I guess is normal, but...
Like, the Broncos were out of the playoffs by 1.
Yeah.
And then if we go to, like, the year before that, this is what you had as your, like...
Yeah.
Like, you just had, like, 3 powerhouse teams, which actually it was funny because number 2 and number 3 faced each other in the grand finals that year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, let's see. 2020, we had, again, you have 1 powerhouse in the Panthers.
Yeah. Even the Storm were good.
Oh, the Storm have always been a good team.
True.
The Storm will always be... Yeah, the Storm will always be at the top. Like, look, this is where the Roosters should be this year, to be honest.
Yeah.
And wow, the Tigers actually made the 8. What in the world?
Before you started
29.
watching, you're their curse.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, that wasn't the end round. Hold on.
Oh.
Never mind.
No, they
Tigers
didn't.
didn't make it.
Never mind.
I take everything back.
No, they're
Well,
close.
You know what? It's really funny because I'm trying to think though that this might be, as a Bunnies fan,
Mm-hmm. COVID probably cut
this
that one
season.
short.
This season might be the worst finish that they have
For the Bunnies.
since I started watching.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, that's weird, because they were,
So 2022, they were 7th.
even the Rabbitohs were number 1 at some point in time, weren't they? I mean, just a couple weeks ago, they were number 1. Now they've dropped down
I
to
don't
8.
think we make. I don't think we made the 8.
You don't think so?
Too many injuries.
I mean, there's still like 10-ish weeks.
Latrell's still out for a
Latrell's
month.
out. You're not wrong.
For a whole nother month.
Yeah. That's true.
Without Latrell, we have Taff, who plays like he belongs in. I don't even know. Man does not belong playing in the major leagues of NRL.
Man. Well, what's this weekend looking like for us, Highlander, for matches?
This week coming up with round 18, we have the Sharks versus the Dragons.
That'd be good. No, it won't be good. Nope. For some reason, I
Should
thought there was a
should be a Dragon. There should be a Sharks just annihilation.
You were
honestly,
say Dragons win.
No, I don't know why it's the Dragons at first, but yeah, this should just be a Nico Hines fun time.
Yeah.
Bunnies, Warriors.
Is there any word on Nico Hines for Origin Game 3, or they still don't like him? They still just don't want to play him?
At this point, I don't think there's any point of it.
There is no point, yeah. Because, I mean, what is...
It's 2-0.
It's 2-0, so yeah, it doesn't even matter.
Brisbane's already won it. I think they're just going to go with their usual.
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, I think a lot of Blues fans just want this Origin to be over with already.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're Nico Hines, do you even want to play? Probably not.
Just because I have a feeling that there will be a different coach for Origin next year.
Oh, until the end of the weekend. Okay, gotcha.
Warriors versus Bunnies. Without Latrell, honestly, I think the Warriors can win this one, which would knock the Bunnies out of the 8.
Probably, yeah.
Especially because it's in New Zealand as well.
Mm-hmm.
This game is the game
that's a banger.
I'm pumped about.
Oh, that's a
Storm versus Panthers. Again, not the full healthy Storm, but again, not a full healthy Panthers team either.
Right.
Honestly, I hope this game actually does live up to the hype.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it goes the distance, honestly.
Oh, I think it will.
And I think because Storm are home, I think Storm could actually get the win, which would be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Titans Raiders. After the performance that they just had against the Broncos, I can see the Titans coming into Canberra and pulling the upset here,
and
pushing their way closer to the 8. Cowboys Tigers. Cowboys look like they're starting to get into form a little bit, and it's a Cowboys home game. I think Cowboys win this game.
Yeah.
Even though I think the Tigers might make it close. Keyword is might.
Might.
Broncos Dolphins. This is gonna be the first game without Reese Walsh. But again, the Dolphins aren't fully healthy. But I think, if I remember correctly, I think there's a couple of front rowers that also are out for this game as well, though, for the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dolphins could get a steal here,
right?
Which would be huge for their season. Also, it'd be the good way to start off the month of July with an upset win.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the Bulldogs Knights game. I like how they favor the Knights in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and say I favor the Bulldogs in this matchup.
Yeah,
Bulldogs. It's gonna be a close game. I think Bulldogs pull out against a close game.
Which once again, I mean, even though the Bulldogs are 15th, they show fight, don't they? Like every week,
at times
they show fight. So I don't understand why they're 15th. I mean, just I guess not clutching up in the last is it quarter? halves. It's halves.
Half.
Yeah. Not clutching up in the last half, but I mean, yeah, I'm always impressed when I watch the Bulldogs, even though they lose or they win. Like, I'm always just kind of impressed. I'm like, they fight.
This one right here is gonna be the crazy one for me.
Mm.
Manly versus Roosters. Yes, they're out. Manly's out. Their star Turbo, but Ruben Garrett coming in to fill in for fullback, which he's done multiple times because of Turbo being injured so many seasons in a row. I honestly think that Manly can win this game.
Yeah.
Again, the Roosters have been beating themselves up a lot recently. Yeah, and they do get Gerbo back and Burbo.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten They're getting a few people back. Jason Saab will also be back this week. I think, even though without Turbo, I think Garrick still does a good enough job that I think that they beat the Roosters here.
Mm.
And then the Eels are the only team with a bye week this week,
which is good for the Eels because that keeps them in the 8 pretty much.
Yeah.
They get a free 2 points, don't they? 2 points? 1 point? 2 points.
2 points.
Yeah. So that's big for the Eels. And if I, because I mean, as you all know, I was torn between the Raiders and the Eels, and then early season I was just like, man, I really made a bad decision. And then later in the season, I'm just like, I really made a bad decision because the Raiders are popping off, and now they're sort of just neck and neck up in the 7-6 spot. So I'm like, you know what? I picked 2 pretty good teams. Maybe we'll see how they finish the season, but other than that, that's all for the NRL, right?
That's basically all there is for the NRL, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I'm trying to think what's the baseball.
Baseball's next.
Look at that. I was like, how did I always forget the thing that we always bring up for some reason?
Right? And so baseball is now, and I thought I'd give us a nice little treat by starting off. Do you like treats? Starting off with Off the Cuff's half-season awards.
Ooh.
I don't actually have any awards for people, but we're just going over the standings, not the standings, the stats, the stat leaders for halfway during the season. Now, this might not be totally halfway, but I mean, we're 79 games in, 70, 80, I mean, close to 80-ish for most teams, most players at least. And I mean, I think this is a good week for, there's not much going on in other sports, so it's a good to extend out the baseball a little bit. So let's go over some of these standings, the stats for players, and starting off with runs scored. Ronald Acuna leading the league in obviously offensively. Then Marcus Semien for Texas. Freddie Freeman rounds out the top 3 there. Honorable mentions Corbin Carroll, Jonathan India. Never heard of him in my life before, but 58 runs across for him.
He's cracked?
He is. But, I mean, as you can see, runs are not really the only metric that I want to go by. Let's go by hits as well. Luis Reyes, top hitter in all of baseball right now. I mean, even going over here looking at the average, he's nearly hitting 400 on the season, which is just disgusting. So I mean, we'll get into the average category later, but spoiler alert, he wins that too. Doesn't hit home runs. 3 home runs on the season. 112 hits, 3 home runs. Scores a heck of a lot of RBI. Not even a heck of a lot of RBIs actually, but
he just gets the base hits.
He gets walked a lot too, which is kind of funny. I mean, 24 walks, 112 hits. That's not bad.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because I mean the way he's been batting, you're gonna have some teams that are gonna be scared to pitch
intentionally walking him. Yeah, true. Yeah, so 112 hits. That's a lot of hits for 74 games. I mean, he's hitting at a 40% clip pretty much, which is just not normal. I mean, so let's take a look at the home run leaders right now. And who else but Shohei Ohtani? Who else? 26 home runs on the year. Not to mention a pitching maniac.
Man needs to be tested.
He really does. He probably has been many times. But then you got Matt Olson for Atlanta, doing some great things, coming at 25, right underneath Shohei. Pete Alonso for the Mets. Luis Robert. Jorge Soler. Kyle Schwarber. And then that's really about it for the 20 and up club. Ronald Acuna and Mookie Betts and Aaron Judge at 19. So obviously Aaron Judge not playing many games. He's only at 49. If he were to play 78, we could see him at the top of this list, honestly. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he's only played 49 games. I didn't think he's been out for that long, but I feel like he hasn't came back yet from when I said that he was out recently.
I don't think he has.
No. And that might be something we see later on in the the standings. Runs batted in. Let's see who leads this category. Shohei again, obviously. The guy who hits the most home runs is probably going to drive in a lot of runs. Adolis Garcia for Texas. Honestly, don't really know that name either. But and look at Rafael Devers. Look at Rafi. 60 RBIs on the season. Love the kid. Batting 243 though. That's not very great. It's okay, but it's really not that great. Actually, it's not good. No, what am I saying? That's not good. Matt Olson coming in tied for third with 60 as well for Rafi and him. So, yeah. So let's see. Average. Let's go average. Who's close? It's not close. It's Luis Reyes at 397, and then it's Ronald Acuna with 332. That's not close at all. That is not close. 33% versus 39%, 40% pretty much when you round up. That's not close at all. Then you got your man Bo Bichette here, Hylander. He's still up there with the average, even if that's not really correlating to wins for Toronto. But
well, I can say this: Ronald Acuna has 2 more home runs that he's hit today into the game already.
Yeah.
So that stat for him is going to go up a little bit as well.
Yeah, I feel like that. But I mean, he's still down here at 17 at 7. So up here, 5th maybe. He might jump up to 5th.
He's at 21 right now, home runs with the 2 that he's hit today.
21, yes. So not exactly up to date stats, but let's see who's stealing the most bases right now. Asturia Ruiz for Oakland of all teams. Wow.
What?
39 stolen bases. I guess he's saying, what? We're tanking this season. I'm just going to run.
Hold on.
I'm just going to run.
Where's Oakland at right now? 20 and 60, and this man's out here stealing bases.
Yeah, and then Ronald Acuna right behind him at 35. Very just balanced all-around player that Ronald Acuna is. He's up here in the top 3, top 5, top 7 of most of these categories. Probably pretty safe to say he's going to be the NL MVP this season. But speaking of MVPs, I guess we're not going to go into that. We're looking at stats. Let's go into some pitching stats. Here we go. ERA, Shane McCallahan for Tampa Bay. Surprise, surprise.
He's still dominant.
He's still dealing. 11-1. I mean, 16 games, you win 11 of them. You lose 1 of them. 4 no deciders. That's just that's not okay. I mean, there's actually quite a lot of guys here in the low 2 point. Even Frember Valdez. Never heard of him.
Not getting as much love, but Bryce Elder is 5-1 even.
He is, yes, 2.41 for Bryce Elder. I really don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird though because you got 16 games played, you only won 5 of them though. I mean, that's not really. I mean, your ERA is low, but you're not getting the game victory. That's the sweet.
It could also be the fact that you pitch so many innings, it could be 0-0. The next guy comes out and instantly throws a home run pitch, and
you're not wrong. And then he's instantly losing. So I mean, it makes sense with Tampa Bay. They just win everything. So obviously their pitchers are going to win everything too. So
not wrong.
Yeah, so, I mean, top wins, we're just going to see someone at 9 pretty much. Yeah, Zach Eflin, Nathan Eovaldi for Texas. Love Nathan Eovaldi. Wish we didn't get rid of him. But a lot of guys sitting here at 9 wins on the season for pitching. Marcus Stroman, Spencer Strider, Clayton Kershaw. There he is.
I'd say Garrett Cole's another shocking one as well. 8-1.
Yes, he's doing pretty well in his older age for the Yanks. Didn't know if he had it in him, honestly.
8-1. That's impressive.
Who's pitching the most innings? I see Nathan Eovaldi right here, 105. And yep, Nathan Eovaldi, 105 innings pitched, followed by Logan Webb. But difference between those two is that Nathan's winning. Logan sitting just one above 500 for his for his game win, game loss. Yeah, I mean Nathan Eovaldi, what a pitcher. What a pitcher. Garrett Cole, there he is again. He's sitting at third with 103 innings pitched.
Wow, Kevin Gausman, look at that.
Kevin, I think it's Gussman. I believe it's Gussman.
Hey, listen, he can be whatever he wants to be.
You're not wrong. 7-3 too for him. That's a remarkable stat line.
He's having a pretty good season.
You love to see that. Yeah, I mean, you would think that if guys are going deep, they're probably going to come out with a win. If they're, I guess that's not entirely true. Let's see what the ERA is with some of these guys going deep. 3.16, 4.38 for Aaron Nola. Not a great ERA, but he goes deep for him. So
that's the problem. Is there's a lot of times if you go deep, you're gonna have a higher ERA.
4.9, but at the same time, no, because as you go further in, the more runs scored against you counts for less, actually, like in the total run of things. Because if you get, like it's earned runs average, so it's like, yeah. So if you pitch 1 inning and you get, knocked around for 8 runs, you don't have an 8 ERA. You have like a 60 ERA. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
That might not be 100% math. That quick math was not very quick or probably accurate, but you know what I mean.
Lied to me.
Yeah, I mean, the ERA baffled me for a very, very long time until kind of recently. But, yeah, so that's some good stuff coming out of the pitching. Once again, I love seeing Nathan Eovaldi up here. Even though we can't keep him, I'm a Nathan Eovaldi fan at heart still. Yeah, so let's go over to the standings now. And we've got 2 weeks of baseball to catch up on since we, obviously weren't able to do last week's episode. This is what the standings are looking like 2 weeks ago. And so the AL East, see if we see any changes here. And we don't. No changes. It's still Tampa, Baltimore, Yankees, Toronto, Boston. But I will say for Boston, they were on kind of a pretty good win streak for a while. Last week, if we had done the episode, I think last week at this time, they were on like a 6-game win streak. So I was a little upset that I wasn't able to shout out my boys in Boston for that 6-game win streak. But looks like they've come back down a little bit. Yeah, so let's take a look at the AL Central. Any change in the AL Central? Yep, the Chicago White Sox dropped down. Detroit overtook them, but it's still a very, very close matchup between them and third, fourth. So still got Minnesota playing 500 ball, which not bad. Good enough for first place. If you were Boston, you'd love to be first place at 40 and 39, but that's not in the cards. Here's Bucky again. You can't see him this time, but
I saw the tail. Don't you worry.
Oh, you did. Okay, good. Going on to the AL West. Let's see if we have any change in the AL West. Nope, that's the same. What did I do here? Okay. Texas, Houston, Angels, Seattle, Oakland. Which I want to say one thing. Oakland is purposefully not doing well just because they're moving pretty much, which I mean, a lot of fans don't want to see them move. But they're, this is a throwing season for them. This is a tanking season for them. It's been known from the start. They're 20 and 60. I mean, not good. The Kansas City Royals have no excuses. They're 22 and 56. They have no excuses. Yeah, absolutely no excuses for them. I mean, a team who's probably throwing at this stage of the season, just like, yeah, this season's chalked. Let's start throwing. But at the beginning of the year, you'd think that they were playing to win. So yeah, a little embarrassing from Kansas City and Kansas City fans. I'd be more embarrassed about that record, even though you're 2 games better. Yeah. So go down to the NL East. Any changes in the NL East? I believe it's the same. It is the same, yes. Atlanta, Miami, Philadelphia, Mets, Washington. Atlanta's still sitting very, very nice at 51-27.
Love that.
Yeah, not much of a change for Atlanta. Bucky is really trying to get back on camera again.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. Tampa's not the big dog anymore.
They're not.
Atlanta's right there, right behind them now.
They are. So yeah, that's the NL East. In the NL Central, let's see what's going on here. I do see a change, actually. Milwaukee overtook Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh fell all the way to 4th. They were first 2 weeks ago.
Cincinnati's having a battle, though, in that one.
They are, yeah. Cincinnati, I mean, they were second. They dropped into 3rd. Milwaukee are kind of on the up and up. They take first place. They were in 3rd, or second. Yeah, they were in 2nd 2 weeks ago. And the Pittsburgh just falls completely from 1st all the way down to 4th in their division. St. Louis is looking to overtake them, too. Look at that. But, yeah, Pittsburgh got to get things figured out. I mean, they're on quite a losing streak.
Pittsburgh started off really good this season.
They did. They were surprising a lot of people.
And now they're
kind of showing us how it's going. I already see in the NL West the Dodgers were overtaken by the Giants. But Arizona's still up at the top of that division right now, 47-32 for the Diamondbacks. Then in San Francisco, Dodgers, Padres, and Colorado, which, I mean, at this point in the season, I mean, San Diego, it didn't work. All of your off-season trading and dealings, it didn't work for you. And maybe I got to look into some of that. Maybe I got to look into some statistics for them in the coming week and bring you guys some detailed analysis of exactly what's going wrong in San Diego land. So stay tuned for that.
Be egos or something.
It's got to be, or just
all right though.
Maybe injuries, possibly, but
maybe. But I don't know.
I don't know. Just a bad year, maybe.
San Diego is literally being the Roosters of the NRL.
Yes, you think that they will dominate, but they don't.
You thought they were going to be a top team, and here they are being a bottom team.
I called them winning the World Championship.
You did.
I did.
That you did.
Or I don't think I had them winning it. I think I had them going to it.
I think we both made our predictions of who we think was gonna be in the finals.
We did, yeah. I think mine was San Diego, New York.
You said San Diego, and I think you said Padres, Yankees.
Yeah. And yeah, San Diego, you're not helping me. You're not helping me. And I mean, my predictions haven't been very good as of late, so I guess it's just another thing to add to the pile. But yeah, so that's the standings for each division. Let's go by conference here.
Oh, I think I said Baltimore actually as a prize pick.
You did say Baltimore, yeah. Which I mean, it's a good pick because they're second right now in the American League. Tampa Bay's up there, obviously, with Baltimore and Texas. Texas lost their second place spot, I believe, from 2 weeks ago. And still, the Yankees. I mean, even without Aaron Judge, they're still battling for 4th. That's pretty good out of them. Then it's Toronto. And I mean, look at that. I mean, Boston is just 8th. I mean, that's not bad. You're last place in your own division, but you're 8th in the conference. Like I said, that's not bad baseball. That's just a stacked that's just a stacked division. Yeah. So Oakland obviously down, and Kansas City both down at the bottom of the American League. And then we have Atlanta, Arizona, Miami for the National League, top 3, followed by San Fran and then the Dodgers. Milwaukee were off to a pretty good start at the beginning of the year, but they've sort of slowed down. 4 games above 500 for them. Philly, Cincinnati, yeah. I mean, San Diego obviously sitting here 5th to last, 6th to last. And then Pittsburgh, they're 5th to last. They were once number 1 in the National League.
That's insane to me.
I'm pretty sure they were at least number 1 at least one point in time. Yeah, they definitely were number 1 at one point in time. I mean, look at that. They're 7 games below 500 right now, and they had a crazy start to the season.
Insane to me because, they were doing so good.
Yeah.
And now they're so far down that I'm like, how?
Right. So, is this what we're going to see for playoff time? Is this kind of how things are shaping up? I mean, if you're Boston, I don't really know what else you need to do. I mean, you're just in a tough you're in a tough division. I mean, 3 of your opponents in your same division are top 4 in the conference. So there's top 5. Actually, all of your opponents are top 5 in the conference. So that doesn't bode well. Got to do quite a lot of work if you want to fight for a wild card spot. And I don't think it should be that way at all. I think you should just get in based on your record, and that should be it. Because why not? It's just like the NFL, where teams who don't deserve to be in the playoffs are in the playoffs.
I think they need to open up the whatchamacallit, more teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, or not even more teams in the playoffs, just like teams that deserve to be in the playoffs be in the playoffs. Like, why can't we just do it in this fashion? Top 6.
Wait, how many teams are in the playoffs in baseball again?
I believe it's 8 teams per.
Oh, okay, then never
conference.
mind. That's the way it is on every sport. Then
I believe it's 8 teams. I don't think it's 6 teams. I'll look that up. Yeah, we said that one point in time, but I'm not sure if we were exactly right when we said that.
It's 6 teams.
It's only 6 teams?
Because it's the 3 division leaders, and then it's 3 wildcard teams.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they need to open up, I think, 2 more spots.
Yeah. I mean, they need to open up 2 more spots and switch it from division leaders and wild cards to just straight up record. Like, I don't know what's so hard about that. Like, why do you have to insist on being the NFL way when the NFL, you have the Cowboys who don't even deserve to be there half the time?
Like, if you go up in standings and you click on wild card,
yeah,
it shows you more of like the playoff look.
Oh yeah, right here. Yeah.
And why is the Angels below Houston when they have 1 more win? Like that's the kind of thing that confuses me.
Right. Because they must be in different divisions.
Seems weird.
Are they in different divisions? They must be. You said Angels in Houston?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're in the same division.
It is really weird to me that for some reason Houston's above the Angels, and I'm like, there's 1 more win.
Yeah, I mean, they're above the Angels in the standings as well for the division. So, they're both tied for wild card games behind. So I guess it's going off of some other metric.
Who knows at this point?
Right. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, looking at the National League, yeah, Atlanta, Arizona, Milwaukee, with Miami, San Fran. Bucky's causing mayhem now.
And no surprise, Dodgers.
Right, no surprise, Dodgers. With Philly, Cincinnati, and Chicago looking on the outside looking in. So yeah, 6 teams per, which just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, because every other sport has 8. So the fact that like there's only 6 teams just seems really weird to me.
Right. But
yeah, look, I just want to point out, look at the playoffs. I mean, the playoffs are just all AL East, and then 2 other teams.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's the AL playoffs right now. It's AL East with Texas and Minnesota in.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so I mean, if you're Boston, you need to look to secure that fourth place, pretty much. Because if you secure fourth place, then you're probably secured a wild card spot.
Not wrong.
Which I mean, honestly, Toronto haven't been having a very good, go of things as of late. I'm surprised that Boston hasn't overtaken them at some point in time. Maybe they did flip flop a couple times the past 2 weeks, but I mean, Toronto's still holding on strong to that fourth spot and that third wild card pick. So I wish we had like a mock bracket. I wish there was a mock bracket. I wonder if I can look that up. 2022 MLB playoff bracket. Yeah, what was that looking like? Yeah, so so people do get a bye. Yeah, it's just 6 teams. That's all it is. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's all it is. 2 teams get a bye from each conference. And yeah, it's literally just like the NFL.
Well,
the NFL has more teams though, doesn't it?
There's only one team on both sides that gets
only one, bye. Right? Yeah, so there are more teams who make it, but
yeah, there's 8 on both sides. They do the round of 16.
Yep.
Like how all other sports do.
Yep.
Because even basketball does the round of 16.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's weird that baseball, the way baseball is, you think they would have it where at least 2 more people or 2 more teams can get in on each side.
Right, especially with the amount of games that they play in a season. I mean, why would you want all those games to be played just to not make the postseason? I mean, you only have the top 6 out of 32 teams. I mean, that's nothing.
No, not at all.
That's absolutely nothing. Well, that's okay. It's not 6. It's 12. 12 out of 32 teams. A little better, but still not great. Yeah, math wasn't very good there. But
that's why baseball playoffs go so fast, though.
Yeah,
I always wondered why. It always seems like a blink of an eye. Is time for the World Series, and I'd always be like, "What? Didn't it just start?"
Right.
That's why, because it's missing those 2 extra games.
Oh, funnily enough, they actually expanded the field, the postseason field, last season. They expanded it from 10 teams to 12 teams. So there used to be only 10 teams that made it.
Oh my!
Now there are 12 teams that make it. That is just gross. That is not okay.
Again, it should be 16 teams total.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, even 16, 16. Why not let half, Why not let half of them make it? I mean, like I said, you're playing that many games. The Cinderella stories would be amazing. Because, I mean, you have Cinderella stories sometimes in baseball, but, I mean, it's kind of hard when it's the top 6 It's not even the top 6 teams, I guess. So, I mean, I guess there are true Cinderella stories in baseball, but still, I mean, you open it up to 16 teams purely based on record, and then you can have your Cinderella stories and whatnot. More baseball.
You'd have a couple interesting moments, to say the least.
Right, especially with the games being shorter now. I mean, you could say...
Yeah.
I mean, why not? The games are shorter. You could fit another 2 games in to the postseason madness. And I mean, it's still even less games that are played during the regular season in the postseason, so there's really no excuse for it at all. So,
see, I gotta say, I do really like the rule change. It has made the games go a lot faster,
for sure,
and it does feel like a more fast-paced game.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there live at the Braves Boston game, the game was over just like that. Snap of a finger, and it was over. And I mean, even that game went a little long. Maybe it didn't. I can't quite remember. What time did we leave? It was definitely shorter than last year when I went to the Boston Braves game. I feel like I'm saying that as if it's a team, Boston Braves, which it used to be a team actually. But yeah, fun fact: the Braves got their start in Boston, and then they moved to Atlanta. So you're welcome, Atlanta. But that's why I like going, because there's really no bad blood between either fans. It's just like, hey, we know you, you know us, we really play, so I really don't care. It's fun, except for that one kid who told me to just leave because we were getting stomped.
Oh, you didn't get trash talked by a kid.
I did. I told you that. Remember, he just said, "Hey, you should probably leave because we're gonna win." And I was like, "Well."
Oh no!
And I was sitting in like a typical like Boston area, and there was way more Atlanta fans for some reason. In that Boston-ish. I mean, it wasn't like a Boston section, but like it was by their bullpen, so you'd imagine more Boston fans would be there than Atlanta fans. But there was quite a lot of Atlanta fans in our section this year that was definitely not there last season. Yeah.
I don't like to say that. I feel like I'd probably trash talk the kid back. I feel like that's just my Philadelphia Eagle fan coming out. It was just,
Well, that was during the time when I had lost my voice, remember? I had no voice. So like I was there, but I couldn't really cheer the same way that I normally would. I couldn't talk very well. It was just kind of like a raspy,
Oh yeah,
it was
so
just
you guys have
raspiness.
to take it.
So I just had to take it, yeah. And I mean, I did ask somebody ahead of me one time because it seemed like they were just doing pitching changes for Boston, and they weren't announcing who was who was pitching now. Which I mean, they were, but it was just like really quiet. Like they weren't making a big deal about the pitching change for Boston in the same way that they would make for the Atlanta, which makes sense. But like all of a sudden, I would look up and I'm just like, oh, Brazier's pitching now. Where was that announcement? I missed that. And I mean, like, so like I asked buddy ahead of me. I'm just like, are they not announcing the Boston pitching changes? And he's like, no, they are. It's just really quiet. So I was like, all right, well, that's unfortunate. But yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the MLB segment. Thanks for wandering down sadness lane with me for.
I was even wondering where you're going with that.
Yes, I wasn't talking to you mainly. I was talking to the audience.
Thank you for wandering down. I'm like,
wandering down.
Like where are we wandering to?
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Off the Cuff. I am JT, and this has been Hylander. Short little episode today. Not much going on with the NFL and NHL segment. But yeah, so if you like this, make sure to give us a like. Follow us over on Twitch, Off the Cuff Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Visit all of our listening platforms down in the description below. And if you like the esports, almost any of them, we cover those as well in a separate episode, also up at this point in time. So give that a check out. Check that out. And I'm JT. He's Hylander. We will see you guys in the next episode of